kind of like popped out of the woodwork. It actually came out on Twitter. Apparently, a recent book published titled Howard Kazinjian, A Producer's Life, went out, and apparently it had these comments from Marcia Lucas, who was the original editor for the original Star Wars trilogy.
Okay.
And George Lucas's ex-wife, of course. And it's interesting because she kind of comes out and she's like, yeah. Lucas stated, "I like Kathleen. I always liked her. She was full of beans." I guess that means she was, active or
flagellant.
I like that. "She was really smart and really bright, really wonderful woman. And I liked her husband, Frank. I liked them a lot. However, now that she's running Lucasfilm and making movies, it seems to me that Kathy Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get it."
Ooh, snaps.
Yeah. And she specifically pointed to the killing of Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. And J.J. Abrams, she says, J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw that movie where they kill Han Solo, I was furious. I was furious when they killed Han Solo. Absolutely, positively, there was no rhyme or reason to it. She included, "I thought, you don't get the Jedi story. You just don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo?" As for Luke, she noted, and then at the end of this last one, The Last Jedi, they have Luke disintegrate. They killed Han Solo. They killed Luke Skywalker, and they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year. How many times have we heard this? Just not from this level of original Star Wars.
Right.
She is, in a lot of ways, she's not the creative mind, but editing a movie, if anybody knows anything about editing a movie, they deserve so much credit for how well that movie is in the end.
Oh yeah, the pacing, like maybe they didn't write the story, but they're responsible for showing you the story in a way that allows you to understand it and not be bored, and has the right flavor and speed, and just the shots need to add up to a point where you understand what's going on clearly enough to, and you have the same feeling and emotion that the story is trying to give you. That's an editor's job.
Yeah, 100% true. And Marcia would continue to say something about Kennedy's attempt to appeal to women with the introduction of Rey. She says, "And they think it's important to appeal to a woman's audience. So now the main character is this female who's supposed to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got Jedi powers or who she is. It sucks," she said. "The storylines are terrible, just terrible, awful." And then she says, "You can quote me, J.J. Abrams, Kathy Kennedy, talk to me."
I like that. That's a good line. Right. That's a good line for her to end on there. You can quote me, talk to me.
Yeah, so this came out yesterday.
The whole story is being quoted, but sure.
It is. It's interesting that, this is, look, it's not a big surprise that Star Wars wasn't a dumpster fire. This last trilogy wasn't pretty much a dumpster fire, but the fact that you have the original editor of Star Wars coming out and saying you guys don't know what Star Wars is a big deal. It's the closest thing to George Lucas saying you don't know what Star Wars is. Right. Not only is it someone who was married to him, but it's someone who he trusted to edit his magnum opus. And so that's an indictment, right?
Right. Yeah, there's another line here. It says, not only did Jedi Scum 83 share Lucas's thoughts on this, like they're tweeting, like they're quoting like a Twitter handle. I just always gets me, man.
Well, that's where it actually came out first, which is interesting. I don't know if the book is maybe just, I'm gonna look up this book real quick. Maybe the book isn't out broadly yet. And so this person quoted this in here. I'll look it up while you look at that section.
Yeah, George is in his heart a soul, a good guy and a talented filmmaker. I wish he had kept directing other types of movies, But when I see episode 1, I had a friend who worked at ILM who took me as a guest to a preview. I remember going out to the parking lot, sitting in my car and crying. I cried because I think it was very good.
Hmm.
Episode 1? Oh, we're talking about episode 1, the prequels.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So she liked George's vision for the prequels, which some people didn't. I liked the prequels. It was a little weird. She was
like
right.
parts of it.
Yeah, it was a little weird having Darth Vader. I can't believe it.
Jar Jar Binks.
No, having Darth Vader as a young child.
Oh, right.
And then have this love interest for someone who's maybe, I don't know, 20 years older than him, maybe, 15, 20 years older.
To be fair, at that age, I probably would have had a crush on Natalie Portman as well. So
Right. But, when he finally, let's say when Anakin finally hits, whatever, how old he was, 16, 18 years old, and she's, 36, it's just, it's a little weird.
Well, yeah, at that point, it's a crime.
It's like, yeah, okay, well, maybe he's legal, maybe he's not. Anyways, this Howard Kazingian, A Producer's Life, was actually published on September 14th, so only less than a week ago. So it's a brand new book. It says here that Howard is a film producer whose career spans 50 years, has collaborated with Hollywood legends such as Alfred Hitchcock, Billy Wilder, Sam Peckinpah, Steven Spielberg, and George Lucas, and worked on such classics as The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi. So he was involved in the creation of that original series, which makes sense why Marcia would be quoting in his book, right? And this is bigger news than anybody would realize, because we've been waiting for somebody to come out and I'm not saying she's in George Lucas's camp, because once Disney gives George 550 billion freaking dollars, $1 trillion, he really can't say anything after that, as much as he might want to.
$400 billion.
But she sure can, because she's not married to him no more.
Yep.
So this is very. I looked at this and I'm like, wow. So what's going to happen now? Like, this is just going to fuel the fire of people still angry at Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm still angry because instead of being excited for upcoming Star Wars movies or TV shows, I just no longer care. That's what makes me angry about this more than anything else, is that I used to be massively excited for anything Star Wars. I would buy Star Wars figures, Star Wars. I have multiple Star Wars books, the Star Wars Extended Universe or whatever, the Timothy Zahn and all those writers. I was really into Star Wars. So into Star Wars that my family, for years, whenever they would buy me something as a gift, birthday, holiday, whatever, it was always something Star Wars related. And then what happened was 7 came out and I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It felt like, the original A New Hope, but with different characters, but I'm cool with that. And then 8 came out and it was absolute garbage, and 9, and pretty much every Star Wars movie after that has been not great. And now the ability to get Star Wars gifts has gone from like, they're rare or rare-ish to they're everywhere. And now I'm getting Star Wars gifts from like knockoff China brands, from some like, Star Wars lightsaber mug or something. And I'm having to tell my family, look, I don't really like Star Wars. So if you can stop giving me save your money. You don't even gotta get me a gift. Just don't get me Star Wars stuff, because
no more Star Wars stuff.
Not only am I no longer excited about it, but also the quality of like action figures and books and stuff has gone way down, because the market has been flooded with garbage. That it's I don't want any of it. I don't want any of it. And so yeah, I'm not excited about any of the new stuff coming out. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, The Mandalorian's amazing. You gotta watch it." And I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe it is, but I don't feel any excitement to go and even find it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: what do you think about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Have you peaked a little bit? I mean, it looks like it's going to be it's going to be telling a large part of the story that that existed, but we didn't really know it. So that might be interesting, right?
5 years ago, I would have been more interested. And I do like that actor's name. What's that guy's name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. I do like the actor. But you know how I feel about prequels? I'm not really a fan in general of prequels. Like, I already know where the character ends up, and it just takes a lot of it out of it for me.
Yeah. Well, when Ewan McGregor actually breaks this thing down, yeah, when he actually breaks down Obi-Wan, and the thing about Ewan, it's such a weird name, Ewan McGregor. The thing about it is I thought he was an excellent young Obi-Wan in the prequels. Of all the things about the prequels to like, I thought his character was one of them, one of the good things. And to see him continue to reprise that role now that he's a little bit older, and he's at that age kind of in between where, how old Obi-Wan eventually will get when Luke Skywalker comes onto the scene as a young man.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
He's in the right age demographic for that to kind of make sense.
Yeah, but he's such a healthy old guy that he doesn't look as old as the original character.
Well, the original character would have been. Sure. It depends on how old Luke is. We're going to probably see Luke at what, 3, 4, 5 years old in this. We're probably going to see some little kid running around this farm, right?
Hanging around on Tatooine. But Uncle, I was gonna go to Tatooine and get some moisture converters or whatever.
Well, so we've got another 12, 15 years to go probably before he's at that age for the original Star Wars movie. So maybe Ewan's a little bit younger than that, but I mean it still feels age appropriate. It feels natural, and I'm actually starting to get that feeling again. Like I'm starting to get that, at least for this, I'm getting that I want to see feeling, because I had the same problem with Mandalorian. I watched the first few episodes of the first season and just had a hard time maintaining my attention.
Right.
And but I think I'm going to start this Obi-Wan series and just try to give it a fresh go.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And maybe that will get me up for the, get me going for the Mandalorian. I don't know.
Maybe you'll get a little bit of that Star Wars feel, and we can kind of take a look. I mean, they're planning to do a lot of stuff, which is kind of part of the problem. Like too much Star Wars is almost like,
right.
But there is so much of this world. And that's something that Marcia Lucas said in this book, was there's so much. She realized while watching the prequels that there's so much of this universe to unearth, so much to like mine from it. And so Disney really can do a lot of things with it. I mean, the problem is we don't know if we trust Disney. They showed us that we can't trust them. So they're going to really need to, work this thing out, be really true to George's vision, I think, and really break into new avenues with this world.
Right. I agree. All right. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you're not subscribed, hit that button on the way down and the like button while you're at it. Thank you.
All right.